Hey, Spiritual Girls in a Material World with Kelly Sullivan Walden and Nancy T starts now.
Welcome to Spiritual Girls in a Material World, where we celebrate the bling, the ka-ching, and the mystical and magical in everything. Welcome! And I'm Kelly Sullivan.
I'm singing.
There always has to be some little angelic choir of like bursting out of my mouth, even though I don't exactly sound like an angelic choir. In my head, it sounds amazing. It's like Madonna's "It's Like a Prayer." Yeah. Okay.
They're singing in every show.
I know. I because of you. It's because of you.
Really?
I blame it on you.
Okay.
You're the one that should be singing, and I'm trying to get you to sing. And I think if I keep singing,
shy.
What?
I'm shy about that. I'll sing around you now. You've got me singing around you. That's kind of crazy.
That's kind of awesome.
That's like, that says the power that you have, because I don't just do that.
Look at little Shadow back there. Isn't she cute?
Hi, Shadow.
He's not a little rug. That's my Shadow. That's my Shadow. So what are we doing today, Nancy T?
We're doing part 2 from that last show that was all about the whole being a chill girl or the disease to please and all that stuff. And you really said, hey, there's more to talk about. So what do you want to
Okay. So the chill girl brought up, oh man, this is like one of my, okay, did you ever see a movie of the week when you were little called A Girl Named Sooner?
No, I don't think so. I might not have been allowed.
Oh my goodness.
I wasn't allowed to see. It's not this way anyway, Mom. How about that?
Oh my goodness. So Cloris Leachman is one of the she's really the only recognizable name in this, but it's about a little girl who lives in complete poverty, like in the Appalachian Mountains, kind of just living off the land. She's barefoot, doesn't own a pair of shoes, has one dress, and it's completely filthy. She sleeps in the trees. All the animals love her, know her. She's just one dress, no shoes, no bath, hair. What?
I have 106 dresses. I counted the other day. A moment of silence.
A moment of silence. Big.
I don't know. I think if you ask your other friends, I want you to sort of ask around. Is that a lot? Is 106 dresses a lot? Your eyes are wide open. Maybe
I can't put them back in my head. Wow, that's impressive.
I only have 40 skirts, though.
Oh, okay. I feel better. All right. It's all going to be okay now. Okay.
She only had one dress. I don't know. I got caught on that. But
yeah. Okay, so Sooner is her name. And she's just a little earth child. And she's pretty happy, even though her grandma, played by Cloris Leachman, is abusive and nasty. She's just a nasty old woman. And somehow Cloris Leachman goes into town and she's trying to get money from the local authorities for her because I guess the mother of the child died in childbirth. And so she's the grandma and she shouldn't have to be raising her. And I need money and you should give it to me. So somebody from kind of the Barney Fife, it's kind of like a Mayberry town, and somebody from like child services goes out and they see her and they're like, oh my God, this is a horrible way to raise a child. So they take her away from the grandma and they bring her into town. And the parallel story is there's like the sheriff of the town and his beautiful wife. They have this glorious house and they have this beautiful everything, but they can't have children. And so the woman is like, they've tried once again and she's not pregnant and she's devastated. So the sheriff of the town sees this little girl who's sort of now an orphan and he brings her home to his wife and there's like an adjustment period. The wife is like, oh my God, I wanted my own child, but who is this girl? She's just a complete nature bunny. I don't know what to do with her. She doesn't know what to do in a bathtub. She doesn't know what a toothbrush is. She's like, crazy. But long story short, the little sooner she starts to adapt to life in the big city, even though it's kind of like a Mayberry compared to where she's from. But she's different, and all the kids at school make fun of her, and she's having a hard time making friends because she talks funny, and everything that she does is kind of funny, even though she's so precious. Anyway, there's this bird that she calls Bird, go figure, very fancy name, from where she lived, that followed her to the house in the new neighborhood where she lives. And this bird always stays perched. Oh, that's not true. It stayed on her shoulder because it can't fly. It was a bird with a broken wing, but it stayed with her. So it was her pet. And she shares the bird at show and tell at school. And the kids are like, "Oh, that's it." And she says, "Look, the bird doesn't fly." And everyone's like, "Oh, that's that." So she's finally getting some attention, and she's liking it. And so she comes home and she's got her bird, and the cool girl from school, they're all of like 7 or 8 years old, but she's like the chill girl. And they're like, "Let's see your bird." And so they see the bird and they say, "Are you sure it won't fly?" And she's like, "Yeah, it won't fly. It can't fly. Its wings are broken." So they said, "What happens if we throw a rock at it?" So they throw a rock at the bird. And they're like, "Oh, this is fun." So all the little kids pick up these pebbles and they're throwing them at the bird, and the bird doesn't fly. And they're like, "Here's."
Remember this. I could see why you remember this. It's very movie of the week, but the throwing the rock at the bird. Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So sooner you see her like in complete shock because it's like the bird is like her baby. It's like her lifeline. And yet she's trying so hard to fit in. And she really, like, her new life is all about how do I fit in? So she goes and picks up rocks like the other kids. And she throws the one that actually kills the bird.
Oh, so she's got a good arm. Oh, no. No time to show an athlete.
So obviously she's completely devastated because now in order to fit in, she's like sold her soul. And so now she's cool at school, but she's like, without.
Oh my God.
So it's really all about like her, and the story goes on and it ends up, they can't bring the bird back to life, obviously, but she finds her way into integrating the nature part of her and the city life part of her. And it ends up being a beautiful story in the end. But to me, as a little girl watching this, I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed.
How old were you when you were watching this?
Maybe 7.
You
maybe
were
8.
too young to be watching that. I'm telling you right now.
But it was all about a little girl. You'd think it would be kid worthy. Anyway.
Oh my gosh, she was a little murderer. That was too, it's amazing you turned out okay after all that, because that could have started.
I know.
That's like another level, like people please.
But that's taking the chill girl. This is the same thing. It's the same concept as the chill girl thing. It's like, the chill girl thing is making it sound kind of coolish, but really it's like there's some place where we give up something in order to get something, in order to fit in. And that's why, the Native Americans talk about the spiral. Like we start in the center of the circle and we're completely authentic, completely at one with the universe. And then we spiral out little by little, we become further away from ourselves. We become like, we get far away from ourselves.
It goes like that. Wow.
And then we hit a crisis point out here. And at that point, if we get a therapist, we get on a spiritual path, something, then we start to retrace our steps and rewind. And then ideally we end up back here while we're still alive. And then we get to have the wisdom, but have the innocence at the same time.
While we're still alive.
Mic drop. If I had a mic, I would drop it.
Yeah.
I'll drop.
Well, you do have a mic, but don't drop that one. It's nice.
I don't want to drop it. It's too expensive. Damn.
So I have a brush. You want me to drop it?
Yes, please. Would you drop it, please? I have a scrunchie. I'm going to drop my scrunchie. Okay. So what's your take on that? Was that just way too morbid?
Well, I
welcome to my world.
You said this story. I want to tell you, we got to do it in the second show. So, Kel, honestly, I'm thinking I don't know, it's going to be some time where you had this disease to please and then you realize you shouldn't or whatever. But this is a whole nother, I didn't expect a dead bird or anything. It was bad enough that she only had one dress. And then, then that happened.
Well, she got lots of pretty dresses, just so you know.
Oh yeah, okay. How about that part
But
of the
there's
story? There's a happy part.
Oh, but you know the story of the red shoes.
You know, do I know it, or did I just love that title so much and then went and bought red shoes?
Right, you probably went and bought. It's very very similar, where there's like a little orphan girl who's raised poor, and she has this beat up pair of red shoes, and she loves them so much, and some well-to-do woman rescues her from squalor and brings her into this big beautiful house and gives her all these dresses, and she's got this lavish life, and she sees her red shoes and she says, oh no, we will put these in the incinerator, those are disgusting. And the little girl's like, oh my God, like the shoes represented her tie to
everything.
Yes. So one day the rich lady has the little girl, and they're walking through town, and they pass by this lovely store, and there's a pair of like patent leather red shoes in the store window. And the little girl goes, oh, I want those. Oh my God, can I have them? And the new mother says, oh no, those are unseemingly for a young girl, should not be wearing shoes like that. But the little girl becomes obsessed with the red shoes. And one day she steals some money, life of crime. She goes in, she buys the red shoes, and she puts them on her feet, and she's like, oh my God, so excited. And she begins to dance, and she's so thrilled, and she's dancing and she's dancing. She's swirling throughout the town, curtsies, flips, and the more she dances, the more she goes, and the faster she goes, and pretty soon she gets tired, but she can't stop. And everyone's she's made a spectacle out of herself, but she can't stop. She's swirling, twirling, and she's exhausted, and she's thirsty, and she's like, oh my God, I can't stop. And so finally she dances her way out of town into the woods, and she runs into a woodsman and says, please take off my feet.
What the heck with these stories today, Cal? All right, you're cut off. No more stories. You're done.
Hey, it's Hans Christian Andersen.
No dresses and now shoes. I mean, what are you doing? Next, you're going to tell me about a cupcake that was lethal. I can't take it. Are you kidding?
No, but it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for
metaphor. It's horrible. Oh my God.
It's when you get rid of your soul to get something else, then you try to find a false replica, but it becomes an addiction, and so you need usually there's some kind of a catastrophe, and then you begin the process of finding your way back. I know this was the hard one.
Don't you think the lady that took her shoes in the first place, something should have happened to her?
Oh, who let the dogs out? Woo, woo, woo.